Hi, coffee beans! How's it brewing? I'm back for another Valentine's Day craft for the fabulous month of February. And today we're going to be making a love potion. My goal is to make the bottom of this potion a sort of dark purple up to a light pink. And we're going to be using this Sophie and Toffee 2-part epoxy resin. Back in November, Sophie and Toffee sent us this ice castle mold, along with some 3-to-1 epoxy resin. But this is how my castle turned out even after following all of their directions. So this is kind of my round 2 of epoxy resin. But at least I added a cute little tea light at the bottom. For this project, we will be using Sophie and Toffee epoxy resin. Good luck to me. Pink pigment dye and pink iridescent glitter. Purple resin dye and black iridescent glitter. I'm showing you blue here, but we didn't use it. And the star of the show, the potion bottle mold. This silicone potion bottle is from Let's Resin, and it's a little different than the shaker molds I'm used to. Instead of having a hole at the bottom of the mold to put the baby oil in, it has this little piece that you stick in at the end like a puzzle. And this top part we fill with clear epoxy resin for the lid instead of using shaker film. I, of course, had a lot of trouble with this, which you will see later, because epoxy resin apparently hates me. Epoxy resin is a type of resin that you have to mix together in order to use. That means you'll have part A and part B, which means we need to use our digital scale to weigh out the right amounts to mix together. I don't know why I thought I had the brain capacity to figure out the math behind 3-to-1 ratio resin. So I sat staring at my calculator trying to figure out what math to even use. Algebra, trigonometry, plus, minus, I literally had no idea. I think division? Anyway, I managed to find an epoxy weight ratio calculator on Google. The calculator allows you to put in the ratio and the desired weight for the end result, and then it calculates it for you. So in the end, for 30 grams for a 3-to-1 ratio, part A needs to be 22.5 and part B needs to be 7.5. Thank you for this online calculator. It saved me such a headache. So with those measurements in mind, we'll go ahead and weigh out our part A and our part B, and then we'll mix it together. You should mix the epoxy resin nice and slow, and you want to do it for about 3 to 5 minutes. The resin will start out cloudy and kind of a weird shimmery look, and then it clears up into a nice clear epoxy resin as you stir. We want the lid of our potion bottle to be clear epoxy resin. Imagine it's kind of like the shaker film, so you want it to be clear. So I'm going to put a thin layer of the resin into the lid and let that cure so it's clear. I know this straw looks super random, but I was reading that you can use the carbon monoxide from your breath instead of a lighter to pop those bubbles. And I actually had a lot more luck doing this method than I have in the past with a lighter. Next, I split the resin into 2 containers about 50-50 so that we can mix our colors in. For the pink, we'll add the pink pigment dye and the pink iridescent glitter. This is the color combo I used for my Pusheen Game Boy, and I knew I had to use it again because it's so pretty! Then we'll add our purple and black glitter to the resin and stir. I used black glitter instead of purple glitter because I want this purple to be a lot darker. Now, like I said before, I want the bottom of my bottle to be that purple color and the top to be pink, with sort of a gradient in the middle. So we'll pour the 2 colors together and blend them in the middle with a toothpick. Now that that's all mixed, we'll go ahead and let it cure. It should cure for about 8 to 12 hours. Like I said, I had trouble with their epoxy resin before, so seriously keep your fingers crossed that this works out. Here I am moving my circle light around, trying to get a good angle for you to see the gorgeous colors. So just ignore this awkwardness. Okay, we're back and it's been 3 days, 72 hours, and I am not happy. The potion bottle itself is hard, which is great. It's a little sticky, but that's okay. But the lid is completely unusable. It's sticking to my fingers, and it's bending all over the place with hardly any force. I followed all of the directions on the epoxy resin, and I don't understand what I did wrong. I don't understand why this is curing so softly. So instead, we'll just have to use shaker film like usual. Thankfully, the potion bottle came out great, and it's nice and hard. And I really, really love the glitter and color gradient. But as I was demolding it, I could tell it was just as flexible as the lid. Look at how it bent! Ugh! It's all warped and I don't understand why. Thankfully, it's still really soft and I'm able to push it back into the flat shape that we need. But seriously, can someone explain to me why it's doing this? Look at how glittery it is! I love that the glitter kind of sank to the bottom, but it's the side that you're supposed to look at anyway, so it's really pretty. So, since we can't use that lid, we're gonna go ahead and trace some shaker film on top of the potion bottle and cut it out with a good pair of scissors. Don't forget to remove the clear plastic film from the two sides of the sheet. Now is my favorite part. We get to add this really pretty nail embellishment glitter that I found online. Look at how gorgeous it is! It totally reminds me of Sailor Moon because of the gold and diamonds, and I was going to only add some of the nail embellishments, but I ended up adding the entire pot. I couldn't resist. It has stars and moons and suns. Ugh, it's so pretty. Then, to help hold the pieces down when we add the shaker film later, we're going to put some baby oil on top. Then we'll add a thin layer of UV resin to the edge of the potion bottle for our shaker film to stick to. This resin is from Limino. Next, we'll carefully add our shaker film and press down all of the edges with the toothpick, just to make sure everything is stuck. Then we'll cure it under our UV light for several minutes. Once that's all cured, it's time for the messiest but most satisfying part. Filling up our shaker with baby oil. And please ignore how hard I am squeezing that bottle. It looks like I'm doing a blood pressure test. Then we're going to coat all of the sides with UV resin for that little piece to fit into. Then I'm going to add some more UV resin to the edges just to seal it in before curing it under the UV light. And we are almost done with our UV resin. I went ahead and coated all of the edges in the UV resin and cured that. And now I'm doming the back and the front in a good thin layer of resin. This gives it a really nice shiny finished look. Now is time to make the fun decorations for our bottle. We're going to start off by making a cute little label that says Love Potion. And I'm going to use my Copic markers. Don't you just love how organized they are? She asked sarcastically. Okay, wow, stop. I don't know why I did that. We want our label to look kind of aged, kind of like an apothecary label. So we're going to be using E000, E00, which are both tans, kind of like parchment, 0, which is the colorless blender, and 100, which is black. I didn't think I needed to tell you guys all of my steps for making the label, but if you're interested in learning more about Copic markers, just let me know in the comments below. I've been using Copic markers for several years now, but there's still a lot I can learn about them too, so I would love to make a video for you if you're interested. Basically, I did a quick sketch in pencil, colored it in with the lightest color, colored the edges with the darker color so it looked a little aged, and then blended the two with the colorless blender. Then I very carefully and slowly wrote Love Potion in the best cursive I could manage. Then I added 2 hearts for some final detail and a pop of color on the label. Finally, I used E6000 to glue down a label and a ribbon to tie it all together. Get it? Tie. It's a ribbon. It's tying it together. Okay, I'll stop. All done, you guys! I love how this looks. It came out so pretty. I think this is definitely one of my favorite pieces so far. I love how you can see the glitter moving around, and the ribbon and the label give it a kind of 3D effect. So it almost looks like a real potion that you could open. Here's another Valentine's Day craft in the bag. What do you guys have planned for Valentine's Day? My husband and I always work on Valentine's Day, so we never see each other. But his tradition is to get me a huge bag of M&Ms, because they're my favorite. Comment below and tell me your ideal Valentine's Day plans. There's only 2 Mondays left in the month of February, so that means 2 more Valentine's Day crafts. I already have one in mind for next Monday, but I'm not entirely sure what I want to do for the last Monday of the month. If you have any ideas for a Valentine's Day craft that you'd like to see me try, go ahead and comment below and I'll try to make it happen. I definitely need some inspiration. Comment below with your ideas and I'll give you a shout out in my next video. And don't forget to use hashtag BunnieDIY on Instagram to share your creations with me. I'd really love to see them. This week's shoutouts go to my fabulous sister-in-law, Dee, CJ Stewart, Libby Ann Best, Anastasia Koliker, and Wee Jinx Stevens. Thanks so much for all of your comments, you guys! And I saw that my videos have been shared. I haven't even asked you guys to share anything, but you did it anyway. Thank you so much. Go ahead and hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on the future videos. I'll see you next Monday. Thanks, everyone. Love you a latte. Hi, coffee beans. How's it brewing?
That's funny. That's funny.
Thank you. Hi, coffee beans. Stop, see? Stop, silly.
Sorry.